Smithsonians. It's DJ the Kid.
RJ.
We're going to talk about do not change who you are and be yourself.
No matter what. See, because, we sit here and we talk about a lot of things, but we're thinking about how a lot of, even adults, not only kids, even adults, they tend to want to change themselves and be who other people think they should be and kind of reverse a thought of who they are. And in the process, they kind of lose themselves. So we were just sitting here talking. We kind of feel that, whoever you want to be, right? Whoever it is that you want to be, whoever it is that you feel is the best form of yourself, because there's many different forms of who we can be, right?
Yes.
There's many different forms of who we can be. Whatever the best person you can be and the best form of yourself is who you need to be all the time. Not just sometimes, or not just when you're not around certain people or anything like that. You be yourself no matter what. Because in the long run, if you start to lose yourself, you lose a lot of things. You lose happiness, you lose friendships, you lose relationships, you lose all kinds of stuff once you lose yourself. So we feel sometimes that, not only is it good to be who you are all the time, who you want to be, but it's probably the best thing you can do for yourself in your life. Because as you continue to be who you are, the best form of you, you tend to find all the things that you lost. So if you've lost friends and you've lost happiness and you've lost hope, if you find yourself first, all those other things will come back into play for you. So, let's talk about school for a minute. Okay. In a school setting, okay, what are some things that young people tend to want the most? Okay.
Good grades.
Okay, good grades. I'm talking about okay, friendships is a good one. Okay. I'm talking about outside the grades. I'm talking about outside the classroom. When some young people, as they get older, when they go to school, they tend to look for what they call fitting in. Okay.
Yep.
And fitting in is really a form of wanting to be involved, right? Because even adults want to be involved. Okay. Wanting to be involved in greater things and bigger things is not bad, right? We all want to be involved. But when you're young and you're immature and your mindset is not completely where it needs to be to understand involvement and how to be involved, you tend to do certain things to make you fit in with who you think is popular, right? So, for instance, let's talk about different crowds in schools. Because I know there's like, back when I went to school was different. There was like skater boys, and then there was cool kids, what we considered like smart kids,
nerds,
nerd kids. And I don't like to say the word nerd because I feel if you're a nerd, you're smart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and 9 times out of 10, smart will get you far. Okay, if not 10 out of 10.
And not caring what other people think will get you far.
Yes. But let's talk about fitting in groups. Okay, so we go to school. Say we're going to do a scenario. Say we're a new person in a school setting. We walk into the school. We don't know anybody. We're from out of state. We just moved over here to wherever we're at, and we walk into a school setting, and we don't know anybody.
And you are usually the one that is really smart. You wear a button-up collar shirt with pants, some tennis shoes, and you walk in and you see everybody wearing sweatpants, t-shirts, and sunglasses.
So in that scenario, right? So you walk into the school setting, you're dressed one way, everybody's dressed a different way. At that point in time, you have a decision to make. Okay? At that point in time, you can tell yourself, okay, I have 1 or 2 things I can think about. The first thing would be, do I continue to come to school being original and individualize myself, dressing the way I want to dress, or
talking the same,
and talking the same, acting the same, or do I come to school one day and change my complete appearance to fit into what I see when I walk in? Okay, what decision do you think would be the best to make? Okay,
the best decision would be staying your same and not caring what other people think. But most people don't get that, and most people want to fit in, and that's not bad to want to fit in. But you can't be a follower. You have to be a leader, and you could be original and be a leader by if you come to school and everybody thinks if you're not athletic or anything, but you get amazing grades and your personality is the best in the school, and everybody else tries to be cool and be jerks to other people. And girls, everybody thinks that girls are like, oh my god, he's so cool. But that's not like, of course, I'm not a girl and I don't know how they think. But they're not looking for cool. They're looking for a good personality. And you'll see that later in life when you try to act cool and go to clubs, party, and yeah, there's a lot of popular girls that'll do that, but there's some people, and when you grow up in life, you don't want to just be cool. When you grow up in life, you're gonna be mature, so you're gonna know that you had some bad decisions in your past self because of all those bad people you've been around. And
Yep. So, and another major point is this: if you were to decide to change yourself to fit in with everybody around you, right? Is it really fitting in if you had to change who you are? Because if you change who you are, you really never fit into anything. You're just becoming what is called
you're
a
just
social
becoming
norm.
a leader.
So you're
I mean,
you're a follower. Being individualized, being who you are, it helps you develop better friendships because if we become like everybody else around us, right? And we change who we are, we change how we talk, we change how we walk. We will develop friendships that are just like everybody else's friendships because we're just like everybody else. But if we stay individualized and we remain who we are, people will learn how to love you, how to like you, and how to cherish you as a person by you personally, by who you are really. Because everybody that makes a change to fit in eventually has to make another decision. And that's over time as people are changing, we too will change. And the decisions we have to make is going to be this. Do I continue being this person that I had to become to fit in? Or do I change again to fit in with new friends and new environments, new opportunities that come my way? Right? So here's the deal. Those decisions can be irrelevant to all of us. And it's if we choose to be who we are all the time. We never have to choose to make a change and change how we look, change how we talk, change how we are, because we will always be ourselves, an individual. Okay. And I can use myself as an example. I have tattoos. I'm a bigger sized guy. Okay. I say things that are probably uncharacteristic sometimes, and that's okay because people either like me or they don't. And I don't live my life every day to worry about who likes me and who doesn't like me. Okay. I live my life every day to be a good father and treat people the best I can treat them because I want them to feel how I would want to be treated. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of us don't really understand that. It's all cliche sometimes because young people hear that all the time. And treat people how you want to be treated.
And everybody hears that and they think, yeah, I'll be nice and I'll be treated like that. But have you ever thought of treat others the way you want to be treated? Have you ever visioned in your head that sometimes you'll be nice and they'll be mean back to you? That it's not a one-time thing that you go up to somebody and be like, hey, your shirt's nice, but you're still an idiot. That's not a good thing to do, and they're not going to be nice back.
Right. So, how you are with others has got to portray who you are inside, right? So a lot of that comes with just remaining who you are, being yourself. Are you really a person that finds the negative in others? Are you really a person that finds flaws in others? Are you really a person that looks through everything positive in your life to find the two things that are negative about a person? I really don't think that a lot of people wake up one day and they say, I'm going to be a hateful person today. I'm going to go out today and I'm going to find everything possible and negative about somebody else. I really don't believe that. I believe that somebody that's being rude to other people or finding negatives in other people or finding flaws in other people are doing it because other people around them are doing it. And they see that as being what fits in. And so I do have a question. I want you guys to answer it in the comments if you can. But, Is fitting in worth hurting somebody else, making somebody else feel less than you, or even taking somebody that is really self-conscious and digging them deeper into themselves, into their emotional state? And the answer to that, I feel, would be no, it's not worth it. Okay, and that's because we don't know what everybody's dealing with that we meet. When kid goes to school, he doesn't know how everybody's feeling that day. He doesn't know what young people are going through that day.
But there's a lot of bullies out there, and everybody thinks, oh my god, they're such a bad person. But maybe they're only being like that because of the stuff that they've gone through. But even if you've gone through some bad stuff like that, you should not be mean. But most of the time, the bullies in your school have just gone through a lot.
And you got to remember too, life can be a lot like physical games and sports sometimes. Meaning you can suffer a lot of losses, right? But in the end, you come back the next day. You can have a lot of wins. In the end, you come back the next day. The whole point behind it is, no matter if it's a win or a lose day to day, most of us have an opportunity to try again the next day. But if you're the best person you can be and you remain being yourself all the time, then one day, maybe when you wake up, there's nothing to fix. There's no issues to fix. There's no words to take back. There's no emotional things that have been broken to be fixed. And maybe you just have that persona about yourself where you're good all the time.
Yep.
So, it's a big, big deal when you walk into a scenario and you realize that scenario, it might not be pleasant. It might not be a happy scenario. But what's crazy is, do we ever stop and think we created this scenario for ourselves? Do we ever stop and think that person doesn't like me because of what I've done to them? Do we ever think that the environment that I'm in right now is not a pleasant environment, but maybe it's because the association is what created that environment, who I tried to fit in with, why I changed myself, why I changed the way I acted and talked. Maybe that's the reason the environment is different. We never stop and think about that, because once your mind is in a negative state, because it's human nature to think of negatives before positive, it really is. Once your mind's in that negative state, we continue to find negative. So even negative scenarios, negative environments, negative friendships, if it continues to be negative, we'll find other reasons why that thing is negative. Not the fact that we changed who we are. We changed how we look. We changed how we talked. We changed how we walked to fit in with somebody else. When in reality, you guys can look it up. You can research it yourself. The most successful people in the world don't have to walk around and be like everybody else. The most successful people in the world don't have to dress a certain way to fit into into the environment they're successful in.
You know who a giant example of what you just said is?
Huh.
Adam Sandler.
Yep.
Do you see how he dresses?
Yep. I don't know if you guys. That's a very, very good example. Hey, do me a favor, you guys out there that watch these videos, look up Adam Sandler on a day-to-day basis. I'm going to look up something for you guys. Let me look up Adam Sandler. Let me just look up something real fast. As you can see, I'm looking up Adam Sandler right here. Okay, Adam Sandler's net worth is $420 million. $420 million. Okay, so somebody would probably think to themselves, "Wow, if I had $420 million, I would probably wear the most expensive clothes, drive the most expensive car."
You want to see what he dresses?
That is what Adam Sandler wears. This is what Adam Sandler wears. He is a normal guy. You know why? Because he doesn't have to change who he is. Being him is what made him popular. Being him is what made him successful. He doesn't have to be like everybody else. Okay, so I will tell you guys right now, that's such a good example, because I've watched Adam Sandler for years. A lot of people don't work with Adam Sandler because he has his own production company, but I've watched Adam Sandler for years. Never once does he had to put on a different persona to have people like him. Never once did he have to put on a different persona to have friends. In fact, Adam Sandler's friends are in 95 to 100% of the movies he produces because they haven't turned their back on him. They haven't said, wow, you're not acting like I think you should act. Wow, you're not dressing like you're rich. Wow, you're not dressing like you have this and that and this. He doesn't have to do that. He is who he is. He's successful because he remained who he is. So remember, there are scenarios that will happen in your life that will make you want to change who you are. That'll make you want to be somebody else. And when I say make you want to be somebody else, I don't mean take your skin off and put somebody else's skin on. I'm not saying that. What I mean is you'll want and you'll envy what somebody else has in their life. And at that point in time, you have a decision to make. How are you going to get to that place where that person is? Will you ever reach where they're at? Probably not. Can you reach to a point where you're on the same level? Probably. Can you excel past them? Probably, but not by changing yourself. You have to remain who you are. You have to remain who you are in every different scenario that comes your way throughout your life.
Yep.
I am a pretty successful man. Okay. DJ is a pretty successful kid in school and in sports. And it's not because we're changing who we are. We're the same with everybody. One of the reasons why we decided to do YouTube is because we wanted to do things like this. We wanted to express things to people. We wanted to talk about, we wanted people to get to know us.
We wanted to have time with each other.
We wanted to have time with each other. And those are very key aspects in being successful. What is important to you? Okay. What fuels you to do better in your life? What aspects in your life create outcomes that are positive for yourself? You can create outcomes, okay? But the outcome has to be greater than the things that you're dealing with to get to that outcome. So what greater things in your life are you going to focus on? Okay. One of the things is focus on you.
Yep.
Focus on being the best you that you can be. Okay. Second thing is focus on other people. Okay. Make sure you know who's around you for your best interest and their best interest, and who's around you just for themselves. And the ones that are around you just for themselves are the ones you need to be very careful about, because those are the greedy, selfish, probably most hurt or evil-minded individuals around. Okay, the ones that are looking out for you and their best interest means that no matter the outcome, no matter the scenario, no matter what happens, you guys will both be standing tall in a situation where you both are successful in whatever you do. Okay, it's like a ladder. Okay, and I've used this analogy before. But if me and Kid are climbing a ladder and one of us aren't willing to put in 110% to finish the ladder so we climb up to the top to reach our goal, and every time we are negative, it breaks the next step off, how much time are you going to spend to have to keep building that step and then move up a little bit? Another one breaks, then building that step. If you never put yourself in scenarios where you have broken steps, you can crawl the ladder faster and reach the outcome you want faster. And that is the most important thing you can think about in your life. How many times are you going to break the step, and how much time are you going to spend to fix the step? Because you cannot climb to the top without all the steps on a ladder. And you can put everything negative and every negative person around that interacts with you, and you can say that each one of them are a broken step. Well, think about it this way. If you can remove the broken steps, right, and create strong steps with people that have your best interest and their best interest in mind, how fast can you get up to the top then? It'll be a never-ending victory for everybody. It'll be a never-ending positive for everybody. Tell me, Kid, I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay? In school, what's some of the most negative things you can think about that have happened in school? Don't tell me no names. Just tell me a scenario.
Maybe.
Don't say no names. Just say a scenario.
Maybe somebody coming up to me and telling me I have to go fight because this person called me stupid, dumb, and I can't fight.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. That's a good scenario. Okay. Other people want to know about you. Okay. Other people want to see what you're about. Okay. A lot of those people don't want to do it on their own. So what they'll do is they'll provoke, they'll instigate, and they'll want to make a scenario where they'll find out who you are without really having to deal with you. You see what I'm saying? One of the perfect examples is the one you just used. instigating a negative act, so there's a negative outcome. Then they can see if what they thought about you, kid, is really what you are.
Yes.
If they were to do it themselves, then it might cause them to look less or look under or look, weak. And at that point, then they're looking at negative for themselves. That's a perfect example of a self-centered person that's looking out for their best interest. Because if you decide to take somebody's words and run off and go fight somebody, right? They still win their little game they're playing because they've caused an outcome, and then you become a puppet on a string because they just controlled the outcome for you. By putting you in a scenario that really doesn't have your best interest at heart. In fact, you can have the most negative outcome from that scenario right there than for someone just to say, hey, DJ, have you ever fought? Have you ever been in a fight? Do you want to fight somebody? And I know you're not like that. Your heart is big. Okay. I've been raised, and I know I'm raising you to have a bigger heart, to look through people and flaws and negative and look at their inside, their emotional, mental, caring side. We don't see anything else but good people. Okay. Good means that you're always good. Good means that you're good to everybody. If you're not good to everybody, then your negative side will come out. So, I wanted to sit here, and me and Kid wanted to talk about being yourself. Okay. And I know we've been talking for a little while, and I want you guys to please like the video. Make sure you leave a comment. I want you guys to think about this long and hard. I'm going to say one more thing. I'm going to let Kid do his last closing thing. But here's what I want to say. Don't be like everybody else. Okay. Don't wear the same thing as everybody else. Don't use the same words as everybody else. Be yourself. Be individualized. Do what you want to do, and make sure you have the best interest for everybody around you in any scenario that you create.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is never be a leader. I mean, always be a leader, never be a follower, because if you're a follower, you know that other people will overcome you, and other people will see that you can't do your own stuff because you're always going to follow this one person that you think is extremely cool and they're most popular. But in the rest of your life, you're not going to follow someone and be like, oh my god, he's so cool. You're going to try to stick up for yourself, and your close friends are the ones that are going to be there for you and that are going to help you through life.
Exactly. So I'm going to end like this. In a world full of lambs, you be the lion. And we will see you next time on another episode of the Smithsonians. And make sure you hit that like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Turn on the notifications.
And leave us a comment.
And we will see you later. It's RJ the Beast.
DJ the Kid.
And as always, peace.